To go live.
You're the controller. I'll just read.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعلني وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي أشد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum everyone. Inshallah, we will continue with our journey of in the race, the supreme sign. And my dear sister Fariha will start reading, inshallah. If you want to give a little bit background for what we're doing, then that would be great.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So we're continuing on with the supreme sign, the first chapter, on page 143. So briefly, the author has been walking us through our observations that we come across in the universe, starting with creation around us. We see different lives in terms of he took us through valleys, mountains, animals, sea world, the wild, and then coming back to now the human being. And the supreme sign pretty much refers to like a great gathering of what I observe in the universe. And to me, it's really saying what does everything points to. So we're definitely gathered with the rest of creation. And so what does all this mean? And so now in our reflective journey, voyaging through different stages in our life and existence, then we came across the world of the human being. And so within that, the last 2 weeks, we discussed how human beings are invited to read themselves in terms of the feelings, experiences that they go through, and that is only possible through and why are people that we refer to as messengers, or what the speech of God let us know in terms of prophetic message, prophets who in human form portray the speech of God to us in terms of what does it mean to live within the awareness of what I conclude to be an absolute. And last week we mentioned a little bit about ascension and how we can all utilize our experiences here to really embark on our own ascension. If you think about it, all of us are in this journey of ascending in terms of unpacking different meanings that we get from our experiences, and also how can we really utilize these experiences to connect our being to the source of our existence. And then we also mentioned a little bit how all of this can lead to really being confirmed in what we believe in. And so, and we referred that to taste of belief. So it's really the same thing in terms of ascension and taste of belief. I think it's just different ways of putting it into words. And that was really brief takeaway from thus far. But if anyone else wants to share what they gathered or what they took away or something they've been reflecting on, something that was striking from our journeying with the author thus far, please feel free to share out.
Okay. Oh yeah, I think one of the important thing was also how we are as a traveler. If we are looking for guidance, we are looking for answers to our human questions, as this traveler is kind of doing. And the invitation based on, as you said, about those who say they're employed by the Lord of the universe, and they are there to help the individual as the human beings. So I would go and take their invitation. Right? If somebody else, something I'm not interested in, and somebody invites me, I'm like, no, I'm not going to that. Thank you, but I'm not interested. Right? For example, if there's some group of, I don't know, okay, so maybe some boxing group, and they say, hey, we invite you to join our boxing group. I'm like, no, I'm not interested in boxing, for example. So there's this concept, or this within the human being, this desire to be in a questioning and learning mode, that I would go and take the message from the messengers, because I'm looking for the answers. If I'm not looking for the answers, then that's a different thing. But I'm looking for the answers. That's what the journey of my in this universe is going to be. I have to find out why I'm here, what's my purpose here, why am I presented with all these things, and I have to explore all the different answers and see if they make sense to me. So I think that was what we discussed. And I think this paragraph we read, right, in terms of the uncertainty in the shade of the highway of Muhammad, peace and blessings, and the ascension of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and the ascension, as you mentioned, Fariha. So I think we will go to
the next page.
Yeah, next page, from now our traveler through the world. Yeah. So inshallah, you can, if anybody else, yeah, please feel free to raise your hand to recap or anything, or if not, Fariha, we can start.
Okay, inshallah. And there was another point, just to add on to what you said also, was that these spiritual guides and this classroom of the prophets that the author is referring to, everyone is pretty much proclaiming no God but He. So everybody's in agreement with this conclusion that we all derive at. And so that's really what drives me.
Right. In his journey, he's been coming to that conclusion, and then the prophets, and then the learned scholars that he's taken the invitation from are also confirming, and it further enhances the confirmation of a human being.
Okay, so we are on page 144 of the raise. Now, our traveler through the world, aware that the most important and greatest of all human perfections, indeed, the very source and origin of all such perfections, is the love of God that arises from belief in God and the knowledge of God, wished with all of his powers, outer and inner, to advance still farther in the strengthening of his faith and the development of his knowledge. The most important and greatest of all human perfections, indeed the very source and origin of all such perfections, is the love of God, which arises from belief in God and the knowledge of God, wished with all of his powers, outer and inner, to advance still farther in the strengthening of his faith and the development of his knowledge. So it's interesting how, just like you were saying, Asim, in terms of what attracts me to even seek guidance, is really this need to not only get acquainted, communicate with the source of my existence, but like he's referring here to love of God, but how does one attain to loving someone? It's really by getting to know them on a really personal and individual level. So I think belief in God and knowledge of God is really the same thing in terms of when I see everything in the universe, the way it's presented, demonstrated, and set up, if I'm able to make the connection of created things or creation pointing to its creator, then not only am I in awe of creation around me, but also have this need of getting to know this one who's taking care of me while I'm journeying with the rest of creation. And so let's go on with, he therefore raised his head and gazing at the heavens said to himself, the most precious thing in the universe is life. All things are made subordinate to life. The most precious of all living beings is the animate, and the most precious of the animate is the conscious. This is a very good point, actually, because we all experience life. We don't want to lose it because through life we get to interact and really experience what's out there, and everything has life. So that's why all things are made subordinate to life. So if something is lifeless, then it's really of no use. Just like if a body just, I mean, if a car just does not function, it's of no use. I mean, we used that analogy in the past, but anything without life, it doesn't benefit me. But another point here, which is mentioned, is the most precious of all living beings is the animate, and the most precious of the animate is the conscious being. So I think it's referring to the human being when we are in a state of awareness, acknowledgement, and conscious of the source of our existence. Otherwise, we're no different than any animate being, but I think this awareness and consciousness part is what should help us ascend in understanding and really experiencing the love of the source of our existence. So just like the author mentions here, love of God. And we can come back to it at any point if anyone wants to delve deeper into any of the keywords that are highlighted. Let's just finish up a little bit with this paragraph and then we can talk. Each century and each year, the globe is engaged in emptying and refilling itself in order to augment this most precious substance. This is interesting. Yeah, we don't see any scarcity in terms of even human beings. I don't know. Bird population keeps increasing. Just last week or sometime somebody was mentioning about, do you know how many people are in so-and-so country? I was like, I don't care. I don't live there or so, but the point here is that it's interesting how I may be in a specific geographical location and I may have some perhaps roots in another part of the world, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's people are everywhere. And what does this mean? It's new people come in, people graduate. It's just an interesting cycle that we see. It follows then without doubt that the magnificent and ornate heavens must have appropriate people and inhabitants possessing life, spirit, and consciousness for events relating to seeing and speaking with the angels, such as the appearance of Gabriel, peace be upon him, in the presence of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and in the view of the companions, have been transmitted and related from the most ancient times. It follows then without doubt that the magnificent and ornate heavens must have appropriate people and inhabitants, possessing life, spirit, and consciousness for events relating to seeing and speaking with the angels, such as the appearance of Gabriel, peace be upon him, in the presence of Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, and in the view of the companions, have been transmitted and related from the most ancient times. Would then that I could converse with the inhabitants of the heavens and learn their thoughts on this matter, for their words concerning the creator of the cosmos are the most important. So I'm really not clear at all with this last piece in terms of what is being mentioned. I may have some general idea, but again, there must be more to unpack, and the author definitely is sharing something that should benefit our spirit. And so let's see.
Maybe we can start from the first sentence and break it down, inshallah.
Okay. So it follows then without doubt that the magnificent and ornate heavens must have appropriate people and inhabitants, possessing life, spirit, and consciousness.
Yeah, no, I was going like the first sentence of the paragraph, like most precious thing in the universe is life.
Okay, go ahead.
So the thing is, I was thinking to myself, in the universe, how do we see life as the most precious? I mean, we probably don't think much about it, but it's interesting how then he makes all things are made subordinate to life. So life is kind of like on top, and then everything basically goes along with basically if you don't have life, then you cannot experience anything in the universe, right? And the most precious of all living beings is the animate. So there's the one who are animate, in motion, continuously moving and changing. And the most precious of the animate is the conscious. So now he gets to the core of what's the most precious thing that the human being needs to realize is the consciousness is the most precious of the things. And the next, as we go along the paragraph, each century and each year, the globe is engaged in emptying and refilling itself. As you said, populations, there's people die, and then there's more population that comes in order to augment this most precious substance, so which is consciousness. So animate beings, more conscious beings, are continually coming. Consciousness is increasing. It follows then without doubt. So if there's so much activity on the earth in terms of life, animation, and consciousness, I know, Brother Ali, you want to speak. I see your mic unmuted. You want to go?
Oh, sorry. Please go ahead.
No, so I was just trying to understand this paragraph, and then of course we want to hear from you. So the way I'm understanding it is there's a focus on the consciousness of the universe. Like as every single being but that is animate, that includes plants and animals and human beings especially because of the intelligence as well. And there's a continuous development of the animate beings. Although there's death, but there's also a lot of life that is. So the world population is growing, that's for sure. So the consciousness is growing as well. And then he links that, hey, if you see on this earth so much consciousness that is going on, you find that, so what about the rest of the universe? So there's the, other places, there's the seas, the skies, other creation that are animate as well. So let's say maybe seas are in the universe, but the heavens maybe he refers to that there is some meaningful side of things that is going on that is also linked to consciousness. Right, and then it follows then without doubt the magnificent and ornate heavens must have appropriate people and inhabitants possessing life, spirit, and consciousness. And then so comma for events relating to seeing and speaking with the angels, such as the appearance of Gabriel, peace be upon him, in the presence of Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, and in the view of the companions, have been transmitted and related from the most ancient times. So we hear that from, from historical narrations as well, that angels have appeared in front of important people or in front of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, called Gabriel, and has spoken to him. Would then that I could converse with the inhabitants of the heavens. Now he's saying, could I converse with the angels or these beings that are there, which are conscious or meaningful beings? And this is, I think, where we need Brother Ali's help also. So inshallah, Brother Ali, please go ahead.
As you have been following the line of thinking, I agree with you that we have to go back to the first paragraph that we read today. In the first paragraph, what is emphasized in, of course, most important thing is human perfection, because up to now, our traveler has gone through the stages that he acknowledged the creator, he acknowledged the certain people, the value of certain people, the prophets, etc. And then now he is going into the angels. So human perfection is the aim of this man now. Now, I am a living being. He understood. And there is something going on here, that the universe is meaningful. And then he sends the message, and the messengers receive this message from him. And as a result, there is a message. Message for what? To learn what for human beings, for themselves. If I learn how the universe works, it is outside of me. But for me also, I have to learn how to read myself. I think we have to understand one point. I'm sure everybody understands it, but we have to share this point altogether. So we will draw our attention to this. Now, I love a man. I'm a young man. I am in love with somebody. Okay? Now, I love this. Let's be a little bit realistic terms to imagine it in our minds so that it will make sense to us. So I love a girl, and I want to express my interest on her. What I did now, because I'm so much in love with her, so much so that I am writing a song or a poem. Okay, let's make it more realistic. You write a poem. You don't write a song. So what I do, I take a bag. In the bag, there are, let's assume this is just an example. There are, let's say, uh, countless number of letters, okay? Countless number of letters. So take the letters out of this bag and put them in a way that arrange that it is my poem now, okay? That represents what? My feelings, my love for this girl. That's simple, isn't it? Okay. What I will do now, I will get another bag. Now, this is the letters of my song, my poem. Okay, I pour them in the bag and send the bag to my beloved girl. What happens? Well, but my song is made out of these letters. Here are the letters. Here you are. What is missing? Do you think this I took something out of this poem? No, it was all there. All the letters are there and put it there. Okay. What does it represent? What am I trying to get at? It is very important to pay attention to the reality that materialist people who don't see the life of the universe turns the atoms in and puts them in a bag and no meaning. The girl will get and will say, this boy, which in the example is me, I am insulting her. A bag of jumbled letters. So she will say, I will never ever get married or be interested in this idiot. What am I going to do with this? Bag of letters. Although letters are in themselves are meaningful, but it is just an example. What is missing when we take the meaning of the poem out, making the jumble of the letters, is left what a denier says the universe consists of atoms and no meaning, no life, no feeling, no consciousness, no conscience. So we have to bear in mind that if I look at something and see meaning in its existence and admire the meaning in its existence, I love it, I eat it, I smell it, I watch it, I take picture of it, and I communicate my love to my beloved girl through a bunch of flowers. What does it mean? They are carrying meaning. They are not the jumble of letters in a bag. Or this is what angels are. Angels are the spirit, the soul, the meaning of this universe, which appears to us when we look at it. We love looking at them. We love touching them. We love caressing them. A baby, a cat, an animal. We keep them in our house. Why we keep the dogs and birds and cats in our house, in our companions. We communicate with them, we enjoy them. So let's come back to the text now. Text says the best, the most, the greatest important, the most important of all human perfection is love of God. How do we love God? Through the meaning that the universe converses to us, communicates to us. Well, I love the author of this poem, but if I turn the universe into a jumble of atoms, oh God, what happens? My love turns into hatred. That's why the undeniers, the believers, they hate the idea of God because they don't see it. They turn the universe into a jumble of atoms. Oh God, it is great, but it is a very important point. So, love of God is necessary, but in order to reach the love of God, we have to understand that what human beings consist of, consciousness, awareness, the means of conversing with my creator, the author of this universe, the author of this poem. By the way, Nurse also uses the universe as a poem. Qasida, he says in original language, is a long poem. You can read, I mean, many aspects are manifesting there, but many aspects of the meaning are included in it. So this is love of God, and love of God is love of God. The meaning that I read in the universe, in my existence, in my universe, my body, and the meaning in my body, which is consciousness, which is conscience. It means representing. Conscience is different from consciousness. So conscience means really spirit, human spirit. Human spirit loves the origin of the meaning, the origin of the meaning of the universe, and through communicating the meaning in the universe, the human beings develops the belief of God, confirming how great the author of the universe is, and knowledge of God, becoming aware of it. But how it was possible? Why the first paragraph was necessary to make the following paragraph meaningful? Only then you can conclude that the universe has meaning as well. It is so meaningful, like me. I am aware of my conscience, but I must use my consciousness through my life, and the life necessitates my animate being, and animate being necessitates, in my case, my conscious, and then consciousness takes me into the most this most precious substance. So the universe also possessing life, spirit, and consciousness for appropriate to their nature. Because I have consciousness appropriate to my nature, universe must have consciousness appropriate to its nature. For example, when I read the poem, I understand it So I conclude that this poem is meaningful. Why? Because I could extract the meaning from it. Only then I understood that this poem itself includes meaning in it. If I couldn't understand, how would I know that some letters following each other on a line has meaning? So I have to use myself as a criterion so that I can conclude about the universe, that the universe has its own meaning as well, must have a meaning. That's why I communicate meaning from the universe. So this communication takes me to come to the conclusion that the universe is not a jumbled atoms, but universe out of these atoms, seemingly jumbled, but meaningfully designed, meaningfully put in line. So meaning is ingrained in it. Only then jumbled letters doesn't carry meaning. So only then I understand that is why universe is meaningful. That's why I am here in my life communicating with this universe. I am able to communicate with this universe. So this universe must have another aspect which is not materially demonstrable. But definitely because the meaning in the poem is not materially demonstrable, can we deny the meaning in the poem? I don't think so. A human being can do that. The poem doesn't have another aspect which is called meaning. So the universe is also communicating something to me. It must have meaning. And this meaning definitely represents something there in it. So jumbled letter is jumbled letters. But poem is the letter. A poem consists of letters as well as meaning. Sure, the universe is exactly the same. Nothing is jumbled in the universe. Whatever you see is perfectly arranged, put in line in order to make a beautiful love poem. The one who communicates with me is expressing his feeling to me, and I receive it, I understand it, I confirm it. That's why the traveler, our friend, came to the conclusion that I must go through angelic side of the universe in order to understand through my conscience and consciousness, in order to understand what is the purpose of my existence at this stage now. But we shouldn't be misled by the heavens, the word like heavens is the inhabitants of heavens. So as if there are some things up there in the sky, in the heavens, which is called, but not on earth. Now, it is very misleading. Why? Because to translate the sema and as heaven is misleading. But at the same time, there is no other way to translate it. That's restrictions of the language. This language has its own vocabulary, and within its own vocabulary, the vocabulary is constructed according to the understanding of the people. Now, this language is a pagan language originally. So pagan language doesn't have God, meaning, etc. They have only matter. So they didn't really develop an understanding of Sema, which is the canopy of something. For example, the sema of my house is the ceiling or the roof. Sema of my house. Sema of something is the highest point in it. Highest point in it, let's come to the poem example. The highest point in the poem is the meaning that it carries. That is it is sema in the language of the Quran. So what we understand from it, contrary to the common understanding of the Quranic usage of Allah khalaqa samawati wal ard. Allah khalaqa samawati wal ard. Yeah. This samawat ard is translated into English as the universe altogether, and the heavens and the earth. God is the but Allah is istiwa على السماء كل شيء. Istiwa means really covered everything. It means first we are interested in the world. Let me make it simple. It is a very complicated, not very complicated, but for me it's difficult to explain it. Now, let's start from Earth. My personal understanding of Earth is the universe. Again, my personal understanding of the sema of the universe, it's a sema, is the meaning. It includes in it. It is the ultimate purpose. For example, what is the purpose of my speech? To converse, to communicate what I mean in my mind to you. That's why I'm speaking. If I could not communicate and start using gibberish language, you will say, you won't pay attention to me at all. So the purpose, the sema of my speech is the meaning that I'm conversing. Art of my speech is the sound waves. But I'm giving or letters, let's make it in writing, example simple, sound waves, letters, frequencies, I don't know how to say it in English, frequencies of wavelengths of my voice waves. So what we should understand from here, the universe, and it is the meaning it carries, samawat wal ard. So here, the angelic side of the universe is the sema of the universe. That's what I wanted to clarify as far as I understand. Inhabitants of the heavens, as the text says here. Now, inhabitants of the meaning, it means the real, if you like, personality, which is not material personality, of the meaning of the universe, which is called, the personality is called angels, inhabitants of the Sema, representatives of the Sema. So that's what we have to understand the concept of angel in the Quran. Yeah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Thank you.
Thank you, Alhamdulillah. Anybody has any comments in addition to what Brother Ali shared? So the Sama, as you explained, Brother Ali, so everything in the universe that we communicate with has a Sama aspect to it, based on if we are conscious about it. Like as long as we communicate with it, there is that meaning that is conveying. It's not just some random or gibberish thing that we are interacting with. Yeah, you want to add anything for you?
Sorry, I'm thinking.
Okay, that's fine. Anybody else who would like to maybe summarize it or explain their understanding or have any comments to make? Feel free to do that.
I just understood the matter, just generally speaking, in terms of how everything is, we're in communication. There's always a meaning imparted onto us. So there is some kind of definitely communication with the meaning that's occurring, and what is this point to in terms of how can I explain the existence of this communication with the meaning. I mean, I'm just got a general idea. I don't know the technicalities of some or whatever, but I think pretty much in any situation, like there's always some kind of communication going on. So, and yeah, pretty much it.
Beautiful. So should we continue with the next paragraph, or is there anything else anybody wants to?
What does that sentence mean? Would then that I could converse with the inhabitants of the heavens and learn their thoughts on this matter? I don't, as in.
So converse with the inhabitants, so converse with the meanings, the whatever Brother Ali was explaining. Everything is kind of, you can take it as a poem where it's conveying some, the peak of its meaning to human beings, whoever is engaging with them. So when you eat, for example, something, you are conversing with that food. Right? So there's a meaningful aspect to it.
And learn their thoughts on this matter.
And if you look at the plants, birds, everything has their own meaning.
Can I just jump in?
Of course.
At this point, really, that's that when you communicate with things with the meaning, I would say the best example is like this. When you are eating, it means communicating with the food prepared by your, let's say, mother, symbolically speaking. Although you are, I'm expecting that you prepare the food, but it's a general example. Mother, you are not communicating only through the taste, very delicious taste of the food and smell of the food, appearance of the food, but also you are conversing. You are conversing with the love, affection, compassion of your mother. So when we converse with the universe, what we do, we converse with the author's love, compassion, introducing himself to me, affection for me, and taking pity on me that he created me needy and taking care of my need. His wisdom, his power, he knows what I need. He hears me. He communicates with me. It means he is aware of my existence. How did I know all this? Through the message, angelic side of the universe carries me. Sema of the universe carries to me, or transfers to me. I think this point was here, communicating through a conscious being who has written this poem, who has composed this poem. Poem represents the universe, you know that. Huh? Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. I'm sorry for jumping in.
That's good.
Alhamdulillah, that was
Alhamdulillah, very helpful. Thank you. Because now the latter part of this also makes sense, and learn their thoughts on this matter in terms of when there's a communication going on, two-way communication. So there's definitely some understanding being developed. All right, perfect. So if there are no more comments from anyone, then
somebody had their hand.
Okay.
Eshbeza, go ahead.
Assalamu alaikum. I may have either misunderstood or not heard something correctly earlier before. But I think there was a comment made by Brotherly that went something along the lines of how, like, with for example, with the example that he gave with the poem and the bag and the girl. So when it comes to materialistic people who don't see the meaning in the universe, right, and rather claim it to be meaninglessness, then how can there be any sort of anger or a rebellious sort of attitude towards God in that sort of relationship? Because I do acknowledge that, or what seems to be if that was what you were claiming, Brotherly, because in that case, the materialistic person doesn't even acknowledge, and that's the crux of the problem, is that that whatever is there is not from a conscious being, is not from a conscious will. So the girl can't and wouldn't get angry at the guy for giving her a bag of poems because she doesn't even acknowledge him, or she doesn't even acknowledge that the bag is from a conscious person. So I mean, she could still be angry, um, but and so materialistic people could be angry within themselves because there is a human desire to want meaningfulness in one's existence. But um, would that anger necessarily be um, appointed to God per se? Thank you.
Okay, Brother Ali, please go ahead.
Now, my main problem with the people or approach, not the people themselves, the idea, of course, is developed through cultural understanding of religion and cultural, I mean, not thought of understanding of the religious concepts, terminologies. That's the main problem, is not coming from the reality, but cultural understanding simplified, extremely simplistically analyzed or read the Quran. So the Quran says, God is angry with you. God is going to punish you. But they never take the notice of the purpose of the Quran. It is very rarely brought into the agenda while the Quran is interpreted or people make comment of the meaning. The purpose of the Quran is to condescend, come down at the level of the capacity of the audience, reader, addressee, the reader, if you take it as a text. So he is speaking to the at the level of the reader, at the level of the audience, and according to the capacity of the audience. Now, let me take this one into my love poem example. Now, I am the, let's say, somebody is a consultant to me. I went to him, to this person. I told him my story. You know what happened? I am in love with a girl. And I wrote a poem. And I sent it to her. And she even didn't take notice of it. But she maybe, or the most probably, oh, somebody or something brought a bag of maybe a wind or earthquake or a person, whatever the cause is, but the cause, looking for the cause, is inevitable human nature. For everything, the most ardent atheist, if something happens, he says, why did it happen? How did it happen? Looks for the cause. It is human. It is taken for granted human from my perspective. A cause is not learned, and cause is not really learned. It is natural to human existence, looking for the cause. So if someone says, no, no, I don't look for a cause, if someone hits me or steals my money, I wouldn't say anything. That happened accidentally. I've never seen any such a monster or idiot in the world, even in the form of atheist, being an atheist. No, looking for the cause is within human nature. It is impossible. Now, belief in God is there, but it is under our free will. We may accept it, we may deny it, but we cannot apply our free will that I am looking for a cause, or no, I'm not going to look for a cause. No, it is there, but I may not practice it, or I may practice it. That is something else. So Quran speaks that, or come to the example, poem example. Girl says, what idiot sent this, whatever it is, meaningless, stupid thing, sent this bag of this, letters. Don't say that these are meaningful, completely meaningless. A jumble of something. That's stupid, isn't it? Okay. Is there any response from this girl? No. He will say, the girl will say, it is idiotic thing. I don't know who put it here in front of my door, or who sent it. What idiot things? Throw it away. Now it is very interesting. If a blank atheist when we took it this from our perspective, resurrected and came to the court, God will say to the presence of God, it means when he faces his reality and the reality of the universe, the God will say, what an idiot, take it away. Because they will beg, and God will say, no, that is how you treated me. Okay, bye-bye. But going to your place, then jumble of letters, put him, and then he will say, it's a symbolic teaching of the Quran. He will ask the angels, put him in the jumble of the atoms, and he can get the food there, and whatever he needs, water or something, he will get this jumble of letters. The meaningful water, meaningful fruit and vegetable, and a beautiful life. Yeah, that is hell. In the Quranic explanation, which is really true, but it is not our subject. Now, come back to this. Consultant tells me that, man, you are an idiot. What are you doing? You wrote a poem, but without meaning. It made it meaningless. Now, if you turn the universe meaningless, what will happen? It's a very, just opposite to your expectations. You were going to gain the love of the girl. Instead, you gained the insult from the girl, if you like. This is an example. God doesn't insult anyone. But when the Quran speaks to me, the Quran speaks to me within my understanding. Because if I see that somebody else or I myself make an obvious mistake, and also I am asking this question to the questionnaire, in this case HP, the example, when you make an obvious mistake, maybe deliberately though, don't you get angry with yourself? I do. I don't know about you. You may say yes, you may say no. That's up to you. But be honest. As a human being, I get angry with myself. Sometimes what I do, I hit my feet and everything with my fist, saying that stupid Ali, how can you do this mistake? How can you make this mistake? You cannot be that idiot. You are an honorable creature. Come on, don't insult your creator. I take a long discourse to my own consciousness to remember that what I have done a great mistake, not accidentally, because I was careless, not carelessness. I said, you have to be serious, man. Behave yourself. Don't insult your creator. Your creator, that's how I speak to myself. Your creator didn't create you for this end. Come on, come to your sense. So I get angry with myself. So God says in the Quran, don't make God angry, not because God gets angry. Look, this man is made, and I'm going to strangle him. When he comes to me, I will torture him. Look at the universe, man. Is there any way there? Just the beautiful examples to draw our attention, to teach us, to educate us. The universe is full of compassionate education means. What I need is, I need through abundance of something or lack of something. Diminish amount of the things, limited things, so that I will understand the purpose of my existence and realize what my reality is. The universe demonstrates that God is not getting angry at all, but some stupid idiot people translate or interpret the tsunami or the something what was the events happened in the
Earthquake, viruses,
Cat-
tornadoes, catastrophe.
sorry, or they call it, I don't want to mention this name, catastrophe. They say all these catastrophic things. You say it again, Awesome?
Catastrophes, disasters.
No. The name of the event, which is these are
Catastrophic.
Sorry?
Catastrophic.
No. These are dangerous words to me because these are the human beings. For example, for the storms, for the tsunami, people say it's catastrophic. It's not catastrophic. It is a compassionate teaching. Do you understand? That's why I don't want to use these words. So these disasters or something. No, they are not disasters. They are musibah. Musibah is just to the point that we need to learn. Musibah is really hitting the point. Isabah, Isabah means this, Isabah, Yusibah means this in our original language. Hitting the point. What I want to know, excuse me, it was wrong. What I need to learn, God creates something just to the point that I need to learn. That is how the universe is arranged. That's what I need. I need tsunami, I need the earthquake, because I keep thinking that the universe and the ocean is going to be so calm all the same time. It is, or they are bound to be as they to be in the way that they are. No, they are not. They are not. They are under the control of a free will of the one who gave existence to the universe. That's why everything is arranged in a way that God creates the universe, the creator gives the existence to the universe in such a way that I will learn my purpose. So the problem is how God gets angry. No. It is the way God speaks to me, because I understand only from this language. Or if you do this, your dad is going to get angry with you. Oh, no, I don't want to have a bad relationship with my dad. But in fact, I mean, a reasonable dad doesn't get angry with his children, but pretends to be so as a human being, created being. God is, as the Quran explains, and we see the universe is coming out of mercy. And no need to create the universe for the creator of the universe, because meaningless that an absolute being needs to create something, to do something. No, it is the wisdom we see it. I think the matter is clear from my perspective. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. Any other comments by anyone? Okay, otherwise we can continue with the next paragraph, inshallah.
As he was thus thinking to himself, he suddenly heard a heavenly voice. If you wish to meet us and hearken to our lesson, then know that before all others, we have believed in the articles of faith brought by means of us to the prophets, headed by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him. As he was thus thinking to himself, he suddenly heard a heavenly voice. If you wish to meet us and hearken to our lesson, then know that before all others we have believed in the articles of faith brought by means of us to the prophets, headed by the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, who brought the Quran of miraculous exposition. Then to all of the pure spirits from among us that have appeared before man, unanimously and without exception, borne witness to the necessary existence, the unity, and the sacred attributes of the creator of this cosmos, and proclaim this with one accord. Then to all of the pure spirits from among us that have appeared before man have unanimously and without exception borne witness to the necessary existence, the unity, and the sacred attributes of the creator of this cosmos, and proclaim this with one accord. The affinity and mutual correspondence of these countless proclamations is a guide for you as bright as the sun. The affinity and mutual correspondence of these countless proclamations is a guide for you as bright as the sun. Thus, the traveler's light of faith shone and rose from the earth to the heavens. In brief allusion to the lesson learned by the traveler from the angels, we said in the 11th degree of the first station, there is no God but God, to whose necessary existence in unity points the unanimity of the angels that appear to human gaze, points the unanimity of the angels that appear to human gaze and who speak to the elect among men with their mutually corresponding and conforming messages. What's going on here?
So it's interesting how, as we're discussing about angels, mostly in this topic about the meaningful side of the universe. And obviously, as he's heard from the prophets and the other scholars, that there are angels that have brought in revelation and guidance which are well narrated and well known. So he's wondering about what those meaningful beings are. And I feel that he is thinking of, getting an answer to his questions, just like we wonder at something and then we get the ideas and inspiration about, hey, this is how, I'm in communication with the rest of the universe, and I'm learning about the qualities of whoever made them. And like, at least in this paragraph, like this is, I think, his thought process as then to all of the pure spirits from among us. So the angels are saying from among us that have appeared before men. So among the angels, the pure spirits, all the people from among us, so angels, referring to the angels, have appeared before men, have unanimously and without exception borne witness. So what are they telling or teaching? What is the meaningful side of things, or what is going on by the angels is the glorification. That further, that gives the evidence of that there must be a necessary existent one. All these things that you see, each being shows that they're coming from that same one. And the sacred attributes of the creator of this cosmos. So whatever you're seeing in terms of qualities are nothing but the attributes of the creator of the universe. The affinity and mutual correspondence of these countless proclamations. So everything is proclaiming, declaring.
Declaring what?
That the attributes of the creator of the cosmos, that there is the unity, everything is coming from that one being, and they're bearing witness that their source of existence must be there.
So pretty much the meaning is that I extract is the same from everything, because it's pointing to one and the same.
Yeah. So all the qualities that you see, for such as you see mercy, you see, let's say in the food, you see the taste, and you see the nutrition, right? Whatever you are looking at, generosity, power, knowledge, all that is our attributes of basically their angelic aspect of whatever we like, the beauty.
It's interesting. It's saying
But
affinity and mutual correspondence of these countless proclamations, a guide for you as bright as the sun. The countless proclamation is key word here, because it's not only the universe that's bringing me a meaning, a message pointing to the author of the universe, but it's also coming in from, like you were saying, all these messages, resources, prophets, messengers, everybody else who is in agreement with what this universe points to. So I think the countless proclamation is encompasses as far as
countless
consciousness can expand the vastness of creation in general.
Continuous, unlimited declaration or proclamation of the qualities that are observed
space-time
in the universe,
not limited to any space-time. Okay.
Well, let's go again. As he was thus thinking to himself, he suddenly heard a heavenly voice. If you wish to meet us and hearken to our lesson, then know that before all others we have believed in the articles of faith brought by means of us to the prophets. That's interesting. So the angels are claiming that whatever they brought from their Lord to the prophets, they believed in those lessons themselves. The angels are also testifying to the oneness of God. And so whatever they're bringing to the prophets, they also accept that, basically, that they're adhering to those articles of belief.
Oh,
I mean, literally, I'm reading. I'm trying to understand.
You know, to me, it means that, hey, you're not crazy like me, the human being, because that's a human condition. Other human beings have gone through that. So this
Yeah.
meaning that you're getting, it's not it's not a craziness thing. It's, you know, this is it. This is
So
experienced and lived.
In this human journey, as he's going through different phases of the universe, different kingdoms, different realms of the universe, like the plants, animals, the seas, the mountains, and now he went to the people, human beings, and the prophets and the saints, and now he's looking at the meaningful aspect, that there must be beings that are bringing the meaning from my Lord, that, you know, you can converse with the things around you, everything is speaking. How do we, you know, take their speech into our being through the consciousness and speak to them? But Brother Ali, go ahead, please.
Now, another problematic concept that developed among the Muslim community is the appearance of the angels to human beings. When the hadith narration says this is interpreted, this is from, the authentic hadith narrations, because it is via Omar and etc. That is something behind it. But we have to, in general, we have to understand that. We have to realize that angels, as the text says, appearing to human beings. How was it in the text? Somebody said appeared. Did you find it? Appearance of, such as the presence, appearance of Gabriel. I think it was in the, let me see, in the previous paragraph, but the paragraph we read also said something there. The first one, then to all, where is it? Not the last paragraph, then to all, below, maybe next page. No, he says then to all of the pure spirits from among us that have appeared before men have unanimously and without perception borne witness to the necessary existence. Now, of course, the pure spirit, as you were talking, Asim and Feriha, pure spirit, we understand generally from this term, the prophets, not spoiled their reality, human reality. So not spoiled. So Asim said saints. Saints mean really not the attitude of a person who doesn't really pollute the real message that he receives from the universe, from also the prophetic teaching, which is revealed through the prophet, through the angels. So Gabriel, which is all about angels. So let's say how the angel appears to us. Of course, when we say it appeared to me, I want to see him in the form of matter, man. I've seen angel, or in something like I don't know, flame or some light flashing somewhere. No, appearance means the appearance of the angel, the meaning. Let's say when you receive the poem, what you see, you read the text, and then, if you like, well, if it is your habit, close your eyes and the meaning it carries and the extension of the meaning appears to you. You are communicating with the meaning now. Your eyes looked at the letters. Now you closed your eyes, letters is aside, you are with the meaning conversing. Got it? You are with the meaning conversing. So the meaning appears to you, to me. Meaning appears to you and to me. Do you understand? Did I make the case clear? That's why every time when we look at anything and somehow a reaction, positive, negative, is different. But even it is in negative form, still something is communicating to me, and I am conversing with something else. That it means something appearing to me so that I am reacting, either hugging it or rejecting it. Doesn't matter, but reacting. So when you read the Quran, also the message, you are reacting. The message comes from, we receive the message, the prophets receive the message originally from God. And the universe is originally from God. That this meaning is transferred to you in the universe in an abstract meaning that you will get it. In the revelation speech, you get the verbal explanation of it, and you extract the meaning from verbal expression of it. So the angelic side of the book, for example, you are reading Musaf, okay? You get the meaning. When you get the meaning, the angelic side of the message is conversing with you. That's what we have to understand, the appearance of angel to human beings. Not necessarily that it should be in the physical form, that we are expecting, while I am here, something like flashing light will come from the one corner of the house and will make noise or appearance and said, I am angel Gabriel, assalamu alaikum, going. No, it is not angelic side of it. When you read the poem, you don't see anything at all, materially at all, but you are conversing with it. The meaning is appearing to you. That's what I wanted to make clear about the text, that this text is talking about, especially in the there is no God but God. Last paragraph. That there is no God but God, to whose necessary existence in the unity, points to the unanimity of the angels that appear to human gaze and who speak to the elect human man. Elect human man means if you are a prophet, you get the verbal speech. But if you are not a prophet, then you get it through your human consciousness if you don't really close it and deny it. So you will be an elect human being then, not as a prophet, but at the same time including the prophet and everybody who has not closed his mind, his conscience, to the meaning of the message in the Quran or a message in the creation, with their mutually corresponding and confirming messages. Now, when you read the poem, don't you correspond with the poem? If you understand the meaning, if you want to get along with the person who sends the message to you, the poem to you, you start confirming the message and said, yeah, I love you too. Understood? and then write a letter back to him, if you like. That's an example, but this kind of language should be understood in this way. Thank you.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. So what were you saying about the Omar you said in the beginning? So I understand you said about the angel's appearance is not material, basically, first
Okay.
of all.
This hadith states that the people saw the man there, although it is narrated only by Omar. That is why, although it is narrated through all the books, for any reason, Sunni books, by the way, not Shiite books, don't accept it. So that is something, some other political problems there. And then it is accepted as tawatur, but it is narrated only by one, and there is no other one. I was there also, I saw it. There is no other narrations. I don't know that I'm not really in the position to say that Omer told a lie, but when it's something to do with the problem in narration, because the nature is Omer told this and others transferred it. How many generations it has been transformed, what is the word? From generation to generation, what do you do? Transfer?
Transfer, yeah.
Yeah, transferred it. And then it was written after 200 years, something years later. So we don't know how modified it was, but appearance means when the message came to the prophet, definitely the angel brought the message, and the prophet says, this is what I understood. And as soon as I received, sorry, not I understood, this is what I received. And then the people around the Prophet Muhammad became absolutely, that's my understanding of the hadith. Hadith is essentially not wrong. Hadith, I'm not saying that something is wrong with the hadith. No. Essentially, the hadith is correct. Essentially. But the interpretation, the wording of the hadith may be somehow problematic.
Brother Ali, I'm sorry, which hadith are you referring to?
This Gabriel hadith, famous Gabriel
the
hadith.
famous one, where he said that
The Umar said a man came and
from the desert and in all white.
Yeah, it's a long way, but
okay, that one.
Hadith of Gabriel.
I see.
Okay, that is the problem. That is how we should understand this hadith, and I don't know how, as it was transferred from one generation to another, because there is only one line originally. No one else says that I was there and I saw this man as well there, because this concept of appearance of angel is very likely in the minds of the human beings to turn it into a physical appearance of it. And then the descriptions of it, it was a traveler, foreigner, but there was no sign of, it means, to me, there was no sign of materiality in it. We have to interpret it, otherwise this hadith becomes totally irrelevant to me. Totally irrelevant to me. Okay, it's my reality of life. Irrelevant to my reality of life, I cannot benefit from it. I think I spoke a lot. Thank you. I think we have to understand this communication and appearing to human being in the right way. That is the problem. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Ali. I think Faria, you want to ask something?
Yeah, the first part of this piece that you highlighted, I still don't get it. The unanimity. So there's no God, but God, to whose necessary existence and unity points the unanimity of the angels. I don't get it. What does that mean? Can you?
So whatever the meaning that I'm getting, the unanimity. So every quality, every meaning that you get points to the existence of divine unity. So whoever owns necessary existence in unity. But this is one of the conclusions that he is saying, that there must necessarily be meanings, and the meaning also points to the one who is giving the meaning, or the one who is the owner of the universe, who has made it a meaningful universe. I mean, in a very brief way. Is that your question?
So what are the angels in agreement with, or the meaning side in agreement with? Definitely conscious beings in terms of the meaning. So what are they in agreement with?
There is no God but God.
Okay.
To whose necessary existence unity points the unanimity of the angels.
Okay.
And there appear to human gaze and who speak to the elect among men, and with their mutually corresponding and conforming messages. So the messages must declare this, that there is no God but God, that all the whatever qualities I'm bringing in, I'm displaying belongs to him. I'm just glorifying those qualities. I mean, do you have anything? Okay. Any other final comments by anyone before we close, inshallah? I think we are good. Next week, we'll start with this paragraph and continue the journey. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanakallah ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Al-Fatiha.